Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Pentiment. My name's Heliax, and last time we had a, excuse me, Thunder, I'm talking. We had a nice supper with the Baron and the brothers of the Abbey, in which we had a very cordial and educational debate on whether or not Martin Luther is right or wrong in the evolution of the Catholic Church. It was very productive. Nothing went wrong. Nobody got upset. It was great. Now, the brothers did not like talking about it. One could understand why. And the Baron is now leaving. You can see McLaus here getting the horse ready, apparently. But we're going to go check it out because it's bad weather right now. There's flooding going on. And I don't know why I pressed that. And maybe they're going to be stuck here. We don't know. What's going on, McLaus? God be with you, Andreas. Is God with us? Look at this rain. Are you still preparing to leave, even with this weather? Yeah, are you still leaving? The weather is unfortunate, but the Baron's wife, Lady Solamia... we get a picture of her. Will be arriving today. Oh, okay. My lord intends to depart as soon as she arrives. How long have they been married? 7 years now. She's a fine woman, a true lady. I was hoping to bid farewell to the Baron before he leaves. I'm sure he would appreciate that. He spoke highly of you before he went to bed. He was disappointed that you didn't debate him at supper, but he understands that you didn't want to anger the abbot. Right. I still have to work here for the next month or two. Part of the art of rhetoric is understanding the right form in which to persuade someone. It's not good business to annoy your employer, even if you do so on behalf of your employer's patron. He should have known that that Luther's positions against the church wouldn't have been a welcome topic. It's the abbot's table, the abbot's rules. Yeah, part of, do you want to go rhetoric or business? Yeah, it's not good business. I think that's mainly why we did it. Oh, believe me, I know. Luckily, I'm not put in that position often. Ooh, is there any chance I could redeem myself in the Baron's eyes? I mean, we have more good than not, but it looks like we have an X. Perhaps not on this occasion. Damn. I believe you may have offended the Baron in some other way as well. Some way? Or some ways. I would not fret too much about it. Master Mahler, he is a forgiving man. Where has your master gone, then? He went on for a walk. In the morning. He didn't say when he'd be back. Hope he returns soon. The rain is turning everything to mud. My lord might surprise you, Andreas. He never minds getting mud on his boots. Of course, I'm the one who has to clean them. The Baron seems to be quite an unusual man in many ways. Well, I apologize for taking up so much of your time. Good luck. Got good speed, and I hope you can keep dry. It's no trouble, and many thanks. Until next time, Andreas. Oh, one more thing before you go. Did you see a short, surly-looking young man in a hat on your way up this morning? Surely you didn't mean me. Wink. I guess we'll do that. I don't know. Ha, no. He was shorter than you by 2 hands at least. That can only be Martin Bauer. He ran past me in the meadow as I was walking up the hill. He was in quite a hurry. That would explain my lord's missing rings. Frown. I went to pack the Baron's things in. They were missing. The boy is a known thief. It wouldn't surprise me if he's responsible for missing the rings. Why do you think Martin stole the rings? Yesterday I caught the boy with the hat. Martin, I suppose, peering in through the windows. Yes, I remember seeing that. I could have admonished him at the time, but, well, he seemed harmless. It's a shame. I hope the Baron won't be too put out. My lord is a man of some means. He won't miss the gold or the rings. I do think he will be upset about the book. He was quite excited about the abbot, or for the abbot to see it. In any case, I must finish preparing the horses. It was good talking to you, Andreas. Of course, I hope the rain lets up for you soon. God willing. Until next time. Until then. So did he steal the book too? That's not good. Where are we going? Are we going to the scriptorium? The weather's awful, but I still have to get to the scriptorium. Hopefully, tempers have calmed down since last night. Yeah, hopefully. What's this? Clara seemed grateful for the money. Hopefully, this will alleviate some of the Gertner's money troubles. Hopefully. Okay. We got some people. Lady Solomia, the wife of Lorenz Rothvogel. Lady Solomia is from a well-respected Venice family. Venice family? I thought it'd be like Venetian. Or is it, I can't remember the name. Whatever. And has been married to the Baron for 7 years. Oh, there's more. Thomas. Really, we have it. Town priest for Tassing. Tends to the flock at Our Lady of the Labyrinth. More? When was the last time we checked this? Sister Amelie is a mystic in, Anchorage? I can't remember. Lives in a sealed cell next to the Tassing Town Church. She came to Tassing after her abbey in Lower Bavaria burned down. It's unfortunate. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we're continuing up to the scriptorium. Let's just take a look in here. Can we go in there? We can. Interesting. Probably not what we should be doing right now, but you know. Nothing in here. Okay. Yeah, let's go to the upper abbey. Anybody over here? Nope. Okay. Into the church we go. Get out of this weather. Oh, that's really cool, the sound effect of the rain. That's really nice. I like that. The simple things. I think the Old Bailey is where we need to go. Yep, and scriptorium. Hello, guys. Where's Piero? Oh, this is wonderful. The rest of the abbey is soaked, and there's not a drop of rain in here. Good thing the abbot had Otto replace the roof of the scriptorium and library last month. With the calefactory next door, we can stay warm while everyone else is cold and wet. Calefactory. A communal warming room in the monasteries. Calefactories are usually attached to the cloister, but in Curacao, it is part of the old abbey, and therefore connected to the old scriptorium. It keeps the monks warm and the library dry. That's nice. That is nice. Instead of bragging about our good fortune, you should think upon your brothers and sisters and pray for their health and safety. The abbot's foresight saved a lot of our work and protected what's in the library. The town hasn't fared as well. I'm sure they'll be fine. More importantly, if they're not, I don't care. Jeez. Brother Guy, your heart is harder than the stone of this floor. Huh. We have the grumpy old monk, but where's the nice one? Brother Piero? Haven't seen him yet today? I did, before Brother Guy arrived. Brother Piero left to speak to the abbot some time ago. What? Why is Matthew ringing the bell? It can't be terse already. I pray it stop soon. Such a cacophony is an assault on my frail ears. It's not stopping. I suppose this means we're being summoned to the chapter house. God give me strength to endure the rain. It's 50 feet, old man. You'll live. God give me the strength to endure this man. Okay. I guess I don't have to go. Haha. Losers. Huh? Where'd everybody go? It's still not stopping. What's going on? This can't all be because of the storm. I should see what's the matter. This isn't good, is it? Sounds like maybe there's an emergency going on. Alright. Oh, this is the cow factory, huh? Oh, it's so warm in there. Looks so nice. Where are we going? The chapter house, right? Where's that at? Down here. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. What was that? Hang on. Brother Matthew rang the church bells early, and now one of the sisters is screaming in the chapter house. I should go see what's going on. Oh, Jesus. Through the dormitories. Gotta be quick. Cloister. That's coming from just down the hall. Maybe the chapter house? I think those screams are coming from the chapter house. Oh, is this the, I think something terrible has happened, Master Andreas. Oh, I should have talked to him, huh? Shit. What, is that blood on the wall? Oh my god. Is that Lorenz? Please, Father. Where is Brother Florian? Have him come quickly. Be silent, brother. Brother Florian, if you please. I'm sorry, Father. There's nothing to be done. He's dead. No! Sister Margaret, calm yourself. Sister Gertrude, please take Sister Margaret back to the garden. Yes, Mother Cecilia. God protect us. The Baron was a friend of Prince Bishop, the Prince Bishop of Freising. Why is he so worried about the Prince Bishop? This abbey is odd in more ways than one. Its existence offends some in the church. We are far enough from Rome and minds that everyone forgets about us, but this could bring unwanted attention. Florian, how easily do you think you could dispose of this body? ... Father Abbot, what are you saying? Why are you questioning me? Why are you wasting precious time? Do you want to see the soldiers of the Prince Bishop march up our steps and fling your brothers and sisters out of our homes? God protect us. No, Ave Maria. Silence! Quiet! Calm yourselves, all of you. Father Abbot, Baron Rothvogel's manservant is already preparing to leave. The Baron's wife should be here in a matter of hours. This is not the time for rash decisions. Yes, you're right. Forgive me. But then, what will we do? We must send the Baron's man to the court of the Prince Bishop in Freising at once. Mother Cecilia, the Baron said the Prince Bishop's Archdeacon was in Innsbruck for the Imperial Diet. Even better, swift action will silence any whispers of impropriety on our part. Given the Baron's stature, the Archdeacon will undoubtedly come to investigate immediately. We must cooperate with him fully and pray for a speedy resolution. Yes. Good. Thank you, Mother Cecilia. Brother Wolslav, please detain Brother Piero in the cellar until the Prince Bishop's man arrives. What? Brother Piero? Why? That's absurd. Father Gounod, I implore you to reconsider. He was caught in flagrant delicto? Covered in blood with a knife in his hands. Emblazing offense, indicating an individual has been caught in the act of committing a crime. Red-handed. Father, do you really believe that Brother Piero is capable of such a foul deed? Yes, capable enough when motivated by anger. I had no anger against the Baron, Father Abbot. I simply came across him like this. No anger? Not even for insulting your work and forcing us to give it to Andreas? This is not a subject for debate. When the Prince Bishop's man arrives, we must not be empty-handed. Even if Piero wanted to kill the Baron, he's not physically capable of the act. He wasn't angry. Anyone who was in the scriptorium knows that. Even Guy knows that. Be quiet. This is not your affair. It is my affair if you're going to make me a part of Brother Piero's supposed motive. Forgive me, Father Gernot. I just don't think that Brother Piero could have done this. Yeah, no, fuck you. I am through debating this with you. My decision stands. Brother Wolslav will detain Brother Piero in the cellar until I say otherwise. Brother Florian, please escort Andreas out of the abbey. Andreas, do not show your face here again until tomorrow. Do you understand me? Yes. Yeah, well, I don't want to be too... Not a fan of this. Andreas, listen to me. I sympathize with you. I don't think Piero did this either, but this isn't the time to push the abbot. I'm sure the other brothers and sisters believe Piero is innocent as well, but the abbot is worried about the Prince Bishop's attention. If you have any recommendations, I'd love to hear them. I have to do something. I can't let Piero die for something he didn't do. Well, we don't know what's going to happen yet. I'd love to hear them. Take a few hours to calm your nerves and your mind. You need to think clearly. Go to the Druckers, eat a good meal, and come back at noon. Monastic hours corresponding to 3 p.m. One of the little hours of prayer. Not noon. Noonus. Notice? Nones. We won't have much time, but tap on my window with a small stone and I'll let you in. Let me in for what? To examine the body. Ah. I did study law, so I know nothing about medicine. I should follow Florian's advice and go to the Druckers. Florian. That's him. Hopefully, it will clear my head. Yeah, I get to tell everybody the news, too. It's going to be quite the gossip. Alright, let's see what we got here. The brothers and sisters discovered Lorenz murdered in the chapter house. Brother Piero kneeling nearby with the bloody knife. I can't make sense of it, but the abbot has ordered me to leave until tomorrow. Brother Florian promised to let me covertly attend the examination of the body later today. Until then, he thinks I should sit down for a good meal. I should see if the Druckers have a place at their table for me. Brother Wolslav of Zin? I don't know. Bohemian cellarer for the monks of Kirsau. Generally well regarded by his brothers. Supervises Brother Wolkbert and Lucas. Okay, any others? Looks like it. Nope, okay. No, there is. Okay. Brother Florian, formerly a mercenary in Poland. Brother Florian is the abbey's infirmarian. Despite his violent background, he is known for his kindness and calm demeanor. Yeah, I like Florian so far. He's cool. He's good people. Alright, let's get out of here. I kind of suspected this as what was going to happen to him. Just based off what I knew about the game already, I knew that there was going to be like sort of a detective aspect to it. Plus, he wasn't making any friends in town. Hey, Till. Bad news, buddy. Hello, Master Maller. Hey. Oh, you can see all the people working back there. Oh yeah, we had this girl talking about death, right? It's not good. Not good at all. Klaus. Hey, Klaus. He's the printer. Good day, Andreas. Back from the Abbey already. It's only noon. Andreas? Are you alright? No. Something terrible has happened. Oh God. What No, forgive me. Come inside and sit down for a minute. If it's not an imposition, I'd appreciate a moment to rest. Yeah, thank you. Not in a position at all. My friends are always welcome in my house. Besides, I could use your opinion on something. Thanks, Klaus. Good guy. These are good people. I'm gonna make sure that they stay protected. Mary. Or Marie. Plus, you guys have the easiest words to understand. Good day, Andreas. Should I fix you a plate? If it's not too much trouble, I'd appreciate it. I'm always glad to eat your cooking, Marie. Oh my. Klaus, you must invite Andreas over more often so I can hear someone compliment my food. Your cooking is lovely, darling. Hello. Hello, Berthold. How are you? Sleepy. Come back to my workshop. Oh, there's a printing press. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to do a new run of this book, which was the titular character of a popular 15th century book. Tilla is a prankster, continuously exposing the vices and hypocrisies of others. He is also quite skilled at tricking people into smelling, touching, or eating his excrement. Yeah, I might reread some of these things just because, you know, there's time between episodes for me, so I might forget some things. Sorry if that isn't fun to watch, but I need to do it. What do you think of these new ones? I didn't read all of his stuff, did I? Shit. Oh, this is cool. They look wonderful. Excellent work. Can I read it? No, it's in Latin. The figures and composition are terrific, but the background is quite dense and busy. No, I like it. Yeah, it's excellent. Thank you. I'll be sure to let Marie know. Oh, does she help out? Are these woodcuts? They are. The drawings were mine, but she did the block cuts. I've got enough talent to draw the designs, but only she can do the woodcuts and the type. Bless us, O Lord, and these are your gifts, which we are about to receive from your bounty. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. 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 I'm hungry. Amen. Ooh. Some sausage. Andreas, what were the bells at the Abbey? They were sounding for a long time. The visiting nobleman, Lorenz Rothvogel, was found murdered in the chapter house. God in heaven. He just rode by here yesterday. Yes, and it gets worse. One of the elderly brothers I work with in the scriptorium, Piero, was accused of the crime. That's awful. A murder in Curacao? How could a monk do such a thing? I'm sorry, Andreas. The Baron seemed like an interesting man, and I know he's been a patron of the Abbey for years. How did he die? Could it have been an accident? And does the abbot really believe that Brother Piero killed him? You've always spoken of him in the kindest of terms. It seemed like Lorenz had been stabbed, but I don't know. There was a lot of blood around him. There was a lot of blood, but I'd rather not speculate about what happened. I'd rather spare you the details, but it's hard to believe what happened to him was natural. It seemed like he had been stabbed. But no, I can't believe Piero did it. I can't imagine him harming anyone. Stabbed? It's hard for me to imagine a monk doing that as well, but who knows? Oh, but couldn't it have been one of the sisters? But if it wasn't Brother Piero, who do you think could have done it? I did see Lucky Steinauer get into a shouting argument with Lorenz yesterday just before I walked by your place. Uh-oh. Spreading rumors. Lucky? Why would he have cause to shout at a nobleman? Ooh, egg pasta, some sausage, farmer's bread. Let's have some pasta. There's probably something else going on that you wouldn't know about, dear. What do you mean by that? I'm not one to trade gossip, but if you really want to know, talk to some of the other women in town. Or Mother Cecilia up at the Abbey. Why Mother Cecilia? I didn't realize she saw much of Tassin. Oh, there's no need for that. Lucky is a forthright man. I'm sure if you ask him, he'll tell you what the argument was about. Thank you both. It's good advice. There's something else, though. When Lorenz and I were walking through the meadow, the widow, Kimpirin came out from the woods and... Widow. Her and him. Okay. Yep. Yes? Well, she cursed him. I'm not surprised. Ottilia's late husband, Rennig, ran afoul of Lorenz on his last visit to Tassing. I don't remember the details, but Rennig died just last year, and Ottilia hasn't been the same since. Ah, the sausage now. She was always an old bitch. Jesus. Even before she was old. Klaus, that's enough. She had to deal with a job's lot in life. Is that the Job? I think it might be Job. Now she lives all alone at the edge of the woods. There are rumors she's going to lose her property soon. I do pity her, even if she is a bitter woman. There should be some exception in the law for her to inherit. Women are not legally barred from inheriting. It all depends on the details of the lease. Did she come from a wealthy family? She did, in fact. Wealthier than Rennig's, anyway. If the land they lived on was part of her dowry, she may make a case to lay claim to it, or property of equal value. Well. Are you a lawyer, Andreas? Enough about Ottilia. Is there anyone else you think may have done it? I don't know if he has any ill intent, but Prior Ferenc has been acting strangely since the day Lorenz arrived. Perhaps an accident or an academic disagreement? I know they're both avid readers, both of classics and new works. On his last visit, the Baron brought a book on astronomy bought one from me. I know the Prior has some similar interests. But would the Prior kill someone over a simple disagreement? It's not that outlandish. When I was in the university, I saw men throw punches over small academic concerns. What is an opinion for some is a testament of faith for others, and worth killing for. That may be so, but I've never seen that sort of anger in Prior Ferenc. Not even when Gernot made him an abbot instead of him, or was made abbot instead of him. Afterward, he seemed bitter, but never violent. That just doesn't seem to be part of his character. So, Lucky, the widow, and the Abbey Prior. Anyone else? There was something strange when we approached the Abbey together. Mother Cecilia was outside with some of the sisters. Mother Cecilia scowled and took the nuns inside without saying a word. Sounds like they have a history, at least. Finish off the pasta, and then we'll save the farmer's bread for last. Oh, no, never mind. Farmer's bread. I do not know Mother Cecilia personally, but I have never heard anyone speak badly of her. If she had a cause to dislike the Baron, I must believe she had a good reason. Well, Andreas, it sounds like there's a lot to look into. Thank you for talking to me. I was feeling overwhelmed. Thank you for your care. It helped me understand how I can help Piero. Yeah, thank you for your care. You're always welcome here, Andreas. Anytime. Yeah. You're especially welcome with this one. God be with you, Andreas. Surprised we didn't mention Martin. Thank you. God be with you. Thank you. Be good until I come back, bro. I'll try. Okay. So now we gotta go examine the body. I have several leads to follow, but where should I start? We could talk to Lucky Steinauer. He's probably working in front of his house. The widow, Kim Pirin, lives south of here, near Franz Bauer. Have we met him? I don't know if we met Franz. Prior Ferenc is usually at the scriptorium, but I won't be able to talk to him until tomorrow. Speaking of the scriptorium, I really should look at what Ferenc was writing in that book yesterday. Oh yeah, he did. That was suspicious. Still, nothing would prevent me from talking to Mother Cecilia in the convent. But if I don't attend Brother Florian's examination of the body at the Abbey, they'll have to do it without me. Yeah, I feel like that's the most important thing, huh? How many of these can I do? Can I only pick one? Oh, jeez. Got a lot. Were these the truckers? Or did I just not go there? I wonder how many of these we can do. Okay. Well, let's go back up to the Abbey. Because I don't want to miss, hold on, was that the Druckers that I was just at? It was, okay. Up to the meadows. At least the rain stopped. Hey, Tills. Hello, Master Mallers. Or Maller. Not Mallers. Keep thinking the R is a Z. Alright, so I gotta knock on the window. Here we go. It's funny if I just broke the glass. Ah, that was quick. He was just waiting. Andreas, this way. There you are. I'm glad the storm didn't delay you. Now, even though I gave instructions that I was not to be disturbed, we must work quickly. Seeing a corpse up close can be unsettling for some. I hope you're up to it. Well, I'm not sure, but I want to help Piero. Good. Let your resolve steel you. Now then, you should probably take notes as we go. They might be useful later. Of course. Damn. I will begin by inspecting his interior? His anterior? Starting with the face and head. No visible wounds, no blemishes, teeth in good condition, nothing unusual. Neck, shoulders, and chest are ordinary. I need to clean some blood away to examine the torso. Yes, there it is. A puncture wound between the 6th and 7th ribs. It's fairly shallow, though I estimate it penetrated only about an inch, and it likely came from his own hand. Really? Wait, he inflicted it on himself? How can you tell? But that doesn't sound deep enough to have killed him. A Nuremberg inch or an Innsbruck inch? He did it himself. From the angle and depth of the strike, it is as though he were holding it in his right hand, and he fell on his side. Maybe an accident then? You must know that I was not always a monk. I was a mercenary for 10 long years in Poland. My familiarity with wounds comes from my time on the battlefield. I am no true surgeon, but I am the closest Kersau has. I wonder if you took, like, the medicine route, because wasn't there, like, a medicine? You could have studied medicine if you'd be, like, really good at this. If the wound was that shallow, it doesn't sound like it could have been fatal. It wasn't. It's likely incidental, received while falling on his own knife. He must have had some other wounds that issued forth all the blood we found him in. Yeah, it looked like it was in his back, right? Then surely that must mean Brother Piero is innocent. It means it's incredibly unlikely that Brother Piero stabbed the Baron, but it doesn't explain what actually killed the man. Brother Piero never should have picked up that knife. I'm sure the appearance of guilt never even crossed his mind. Yeah, he's probably just trying to help. Now then, let's move on. Well, there is a sore in his sex, probably from the French disease. I doubt it had anything to do with the murder. I'm not familiar with it. It was first discovered 20 years ago by French soldiers visiting brothels in Naples. Yeah, that'll do it. Anyway, it seems the Baron was not the most faithful husband. Not uncommon among the nobility. Yeah, we kind of already knew that. I'd expect a monk to be more shocked by this. I spent many years as a mercenary. Sex and death are common companions in that world. Besides, sex isn't all that rare, even in an abbey. Ah, I see. Between the monks and the nuns? It's not relevant to our examination, Andreas. Let's continue. Other than a few blisters on his feet from what I assume are new shoes, there's nothing wrong with his legs. Andreas, can you help me turn him over? Of course. There's a slight irregularity in his spine, possibly from an old injury. I don't think it has anything to do with how he died, though. I've spent enough time with nobles to guess that he probably fell off his horse when hunting. Yeah. It seems like a silly thing to risk your life for, but I'm not one to talk. Whatever the reason, it didn't contribute to his death. Here it is. A rather dramatic head wound. Oof. The dark hair and the blood make it difficult to see, but it's quite bad. In my experience, I've never seen someone walk away from a head wound of this severity. How many head wounds have you seen? Too many, and not enough. As grim as it sounds, there's always more to learn. Italian doctors try to examine as many corpses as they can to fully understand the mysteries of the body. The battlefield of Poland and Lithuania aren't as ideal as a learning environment as the University of Bologna, but they did provide an education of sorts. Bologna. I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but I don't know how to. Bologna, maybe? One of the largest cities in Italy, Bologna, I'm going to call it Bologna, sounds fancier, has been a center of the arts for centuries. It houses a well-known university, which was home to both Dante and Petrarch. Petrarch? I don't remember. Okay. I'd rather be treated by someone with experience than a novice with a university education. Why don't you study medicine in a university? My family was too poor to even consider it. Mercenary work was my way off the farm. The wound looks like it was caused by a single powerful blow from a blunt object, probably no more than 4 or 5 inches across. How can you tell? The skull is cracked in a single spot, and there is a clear impression in the skin around it. So he didn't just fall. It would probably take extraordinary precision to hit the same spot twice, unless the Baron were already dead. It's likely he didn't die immediately. Oof. How long could he have survived for? I've seen similar injuries in battle. The victims don't last more than a few minutes, but it's an agonizing death. Ugh. Even so, he couldn't have wandered far from where the blow was first struck. So he may not have been attacked in the chapter house. He was either attacked in the chapter house or someplace in the immediate area. Could he have been attacked outside the abbey? The cloister? What about the big garden? Is the church a possibility? Could he have been attacked outside the abbey? No, I don't think so. With a wound like that, he would have collapsed before he got inside. And certainly someone would have seen him. Anyway, whatever killed the Baron was a blunt instrument of considerable heft. The part that impacted him was likely a little smaller than a fist. Could it have actually been a fist? No, I don't think the strongest soldier could do this with a punch, unless the Baron's head were pressed to the ground. Even then, we would also see damage to his nose or forehead. Could a woman or elderly person have done it? Anyone could have, given the right weapon and sufficient height. Whoever did this must have caught the Baron unaware. Save the small knife wound, he has no other injuries. I suppose that he was struck, drew his knife to defend himself, and fell on it before Brother Piero discovered him. So I believe we've discovered 2 important things. Piero didn't stab the Baron, and even if he had, that isn't what killed him. Indeed, though it may take more to convince the Archdeacon of Brother Piero's innocence. And we also know that the Baron was killed by a blow to the head from a heavy blunt object. Now you just need to find what caused the blow and learn who struck it. Oh, there's one other item of interest. I found it in the Baron's jacket, but I didn't want to open it without you. What you got? A note of some kind. Ooh. I trust you to open it more carefully than I would. I do work with paper. Yep. What does it say? The girl. The girl who died and the innocent with her. Matins, chapter... A monastic hour corresponding to 2 a.m. It is used for the night prayer. The girl. The girl who died and the innocent with her. Okay. The girl? What girl? And what innocent? One of the nuns? Someone from the village? Your guess is as good as... Yeah, nuns are innocent, right? It's been years since any of the nuns have died. Perhaps Mother Cecilia would remember. Can you tell who wrote it? It's definitely someone with a great deal of experience as a scribe, but it can't be Adok or Guy. This guy. Yeah, it was heavily underlined, so I don't think they're French or Flemish. It would be some form of bastard script. Bastarda and Burgundian scribes write similar, but no. This is a highly refined Gothic hand. As good as Adok and Guy are, I don't think they could replicate this. What? Really? If not them, who? I intend to find out. I wish you good luck finding the answer. Now, I'm sorry to rush you, but I must ask you to leave. Every minute you stay here is additional... Uh-oh. Were you expecting someone? Brother Florian, could you open up? It's Werner Stolz, the physician from Tassing. Yes, I'm in the middle of something. Could you return after supper? I'm afraid it can't wait. Father Gurneau asked me to examine the Baron's body. All right, just give me a moment. Andreas, I need you to hide yourself. From Werner? I don't care if he knows I'm here. Brother Florian. Yes, just a moment. Get behind the cupboard. Fine. Yeah, I don't want to... Oh, this is not a good hiding spot. Ah, Dr. Stolz. Sorry to keep you waiting. Now, what did you need? The abbot wanted me to examine the Baron's body before his wife arrives. It seems unnecessary at this point, as I've just completed my own examination. Well, then, what's the harm in letting me take a look? Dr. Stolz, with all respect, I've finished. The cause of death is clear. If you had arrived an hour ago, I would have had no problem with your assistance. Assistance? I'm a university-trained physician. I can examine a corpse on my own without the help of a battlefield of sawbones. Remain hidden. Regardless of your opinions regarding my abilities, the examination is finished. If you insist on inspecting the body anyway, I must insist that the abbot tells me himself. What? Making me bring the abbot here is a waste of time. So is performing an examination on this corpse immediately after one was just completed. Idiotic. I'll return with Father Gurneau presently. Phew. That was close. Now quickly, leave through the cloister before they return. Of course. Thank you, Brother Florian. Think nothing of it. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then. Vespers. Yeah, it looks like we get one thing to do each section. I should find someone to eat with. Okay. I should find someone to supper with. Most of the families in town are welcoming. Lady Solomia may also want to speak with me after she arrives at the Abbey's guest house. Maybe I could even visit Smokey in the forest. Smokey? Oh, I forgot. People. Franz. The brother of Johann Bauer. Franz is married to Kat and is the father of Martin Franz. Franz is known for his brusque, abusive nature and intimidating presence. Okay. Sounds like a lovely folk. Lovely person. Okay. I can't get the note out of my head. The girl who died, and the innocent with her. Oh, I'm dumb. It was a pregnant girl. Right? She died and she had a baby with it, and she was pregnant. So that was the innocent. What could it mean? And who wrote it? That's my guess anyway. Seems kind of obvious though. Maybe that's not it. I need to find supper. We'll see if she's here. I don't know if she'd want me to be here, but... Little puppy! Who's a good boy? Who's got a little tail wag? Pet, pet, pet. Oh, little scratch, little ear scratch. Good boy. Alright. Lady Solomia. Ah, Master Maller. Would you care to share supper at my table? I would like to talk to you about my late husband. Is she taking it well? My Lady Rothwiggle. I would be honored to break bread with you. Yeah. Thank you. Please sit. Bless us, O Lord, and these your gifts, which we are about to receive from your bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. I find myself rather out of place here without the comfort of the Baron. Thank you for agreeing to share a meal with me, Master Maller. Yeah, it seems like the right thing to do. She's probably all alone. Of course, the honor is mine. It's a terrible thing that happened to the Baron. I must admit, I'm surprised you wished to speak with me. Lorenz did not make friends very easily. He was a strong-headed man with staunch beliefs. He didn't shrink to share. What do we got? Some quail, emmental cheese with wheat bread. Yum, 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 yum. That's it? Oh, and some frumitry. That's some cheese and bread first. When I was told he found some manner of friendship with an artist, well, I was curious. It comforts me to know he found fellowship here at this most unusual abbey. Not that there is much comfort to be found in these cold and dreary alpine towns. Lorenz and I meant to take a tour of them before returning home to Worms, but, well, return we shall. I'm sorry for your loss, my lady. This sorrow is just the first of many, I'm afraid. Are you married yourself, Master Maller? A woman waits for me in Nuremberg when I finish my work here. We will be wed. No, truth be told, I'm looking forward to the prospect. Am I, or I don't know. I suppose I am. Yeah, we will be wed. Do you not look forward to the responsibilities of marriage, Mr. Maller? Or Master Maller? Perhaps it's no surprise you and Lorenz became fast friends. Did I click the wrong thing? I imagine he saw something of himself in you. Rarely have I met someone with such depth of knowledge and thirst for debate. His thirsts were not limited to his scholarly pursuits, regrettably. Yeah, I saw. His lust for drink and women once afflicted him with great remorse, though such shame faded with time. Lorenz was a flawed man. His various infidelities... Oh, can somebody feed the dog? Jesus. His various infidelities were no secret to me. But are we not all flawed before Christ? Nope, what'd I eat? I think I had some of this. I loved him as a wife should, properly love her husband, but I would not say that we were friends. I only hope his appetites are not what led him to this end. I've been searching for the answer to that quandary myself. Were you and Lorenz so close that you would trouble yourself so? My motivation is personal. I merely wish to see justice served, my lady. My mentor, Brother Piero, was found with the Baron's body, but I do not believe he killed your husband. If not him, then who? There are many possibilities, both here and at the Abbey and in town. Your husband managed to cultivate many enemies in a short time here. That does sound like Lorenz. He was a man of many opinions, and he gave them freely, to all who would listen, and some who would not. The previous abbot, Father Matthias, seemed to appreciate that about him. This new abbot is perhaps more conservative. Father Matthias was an open-minded man, from all I've heard, a true scholar. Father Gurnot inherited a challenging fiscal situation from the late Father Matthias. Yeah. Father Gurnot doesn't share Matthias's passion for the written word, yet endures the expense of it. To be put in such a position would make any man unhappy. I understand. I wonder what he will make of Lorenz's gift to the Abbey. Wait for her to continue. What gift was that? It seemed to be a little thing of more interest and value to my husband and the former abbot than Father Gurnot. And some quail. A lot of food. He had found a book about the history of tassing. He believed it contained some scandalous details. He said it corroborated fears Father Matthias had expressed, but he didn't share the particulars with me. Do you have a sense of what the scandals involved? Did you know Father Matthias yourself? I never met him, but my husband held him in high esteem. Lorenz said he was a man of great virtue and high learning. I'm sorry I can't be of more help. I have some education, but I lack my husband's thirst for knowledge. If you find the book, hopefully its significance will be apparent. If God wills it. Do you plan to stay in Tassing long? Only so long as it takes to the Archdeacon to investigate my husband's murder. Though the circumstances of my time here are dire, I'm in no hurry to return. Why is that, if I may ask? I shouldn't. I see a glimmer now of what Lorenz saw in you. You're a disarming man, Master Mallow, and much too easy to talk to. Well, I do what I can. To be frank, I do not know what will become of me when I return to Worms. My title and residence may be in jeopardy. Lorenz and I have a son, but he is young yet. I don't know many of the legalities, only that my position is at some risk. Would you like me to educate or elucidate them for you? I studied imperial law at Erfurt. Ah, thank you, but no. I fear it will only heighten my unease. Herba? I'm sorry to cut our conversation short, but I fear I must rest. Thank you for having me at your table. Of course, you've had a long day. With many yet to come, I fear. Be well, Master Mallow. And whatever anyone says of my husband, I'm certain he appreciated your friendship. Thanks. Sleep time. Sleepy, sleepy. I should get some sleep. Somebody... You there, you should be petting this dog non-stop. You should not be whining. You should not be whining. Who's a good boy? Yes, you are. There you go, little cheek scratch. Oh, yes, you a nice beard. Who's a good boy? Here we go. Alright, let's get to sleep. Got a lot to do in the morning. Oh, didn't do that. Church and Druckers. Let's see if there's anything going on here at night. Town Commons. I guess it doesn't matter which way I go. Gertners. Wonder how this is doing over here. Oh, it looks like it's been fixed. Didn't last very long. That's nice. The Gertner house. Hey, they're all sleeping. That was ominous. Alright, anything to do with these yet? No. Okay, go to bed. Go to sleep. Do a little stretch, and down we go. Could use some more bedding there, to be honest. A little more straw. Well, in the middle of the night. Ursula. Andre. Good morning. Oh, it's not morning. It's the middle of the night, Ursula. What are you doing up here? How'd you get out of bed? ... Stab. What? I see. Haha. Would you like me to tell you a story? Would that help you sleep? Have you heard the story of the cat in the cradle? Far up north in Flanders, where Linhart's mill came from, there's a town by the sea, Linhart. I think we've met Linhart yet. 100 years ago, there was a great flood there on the feast of Saint Elizabeth. Saint Elizabeth, the mother of John the Baptist. John the Baptist. She became pregnant in old age after it was foretold by the archangel. The Arca? You know how mad your dad gets when water comes through your farm? Well, it was like that, but much worse. If your dad saw St. Elizabeth's flood, he'd probably lose all his hair on the spot. The waters rose so high that everyone had to leave the town. Many families lost their homes. When the flood waters went down, the townsfolk went to look for survivors. Would you believe that they saw a baby's cradle floating in the water? ... I know. It strains credulity, but it's about to get even stranger. There was a cat on that cradle. It was jumping back and forth to keep the waves from getting in. The townsfolk couldn't believe it, so they slowly rowed their way out to the cradle. And when they looked inside, what did they see but a tiny baby, warm and Goof. Anyway, that's why they named the town Kinderdieg. Goodbye. Makes more sense if you know Dutch. Back to bed. Prime. Time to get back to work. Hello, Ursula. Those are my baby sounds, yeah. That I don't associate with babies very often. Hello, Clara. Hello, Andreas. It's nice to see you out and about. Morning, Clara. Keeping busy? Always. If it's not the washing, it's the cooking, the mending, the tidying. I'll lose my head if I count it all. And that's before we get to the wood. Goodness, all the wool. Wool, not wood. Wool? We sheared the ewes last week to prepare for the lambing. You remember the bleeding, I'm sure. Excuse me. How could you forget? My ears are still ringing. Now the wool's all washed, and we've got a pile of spinning to get through before the lambs are born. Where will we find the time? Who does the spinning? You? Surely you have some help. Oh yes, sometimes more than we need. Many of the women in Tassing could lend a hand, so it goes quickly. Many hands make light work, eh? Even baby Ursula? Do you enjoy it? You have so many sheep, it sounds laborious, or laborious. How do you determine the profit split if everyone shares in the labor? You're a funny one, Andreas. We share in the work, and we share in the rewards. The wool we spin will clothe the town through the alpine winters, after all. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others, as Father Thomas said last Sunday. Love your neighbor as yourself. Yes, I remember Father Thomas being fond of that sermon. Oops. How many times has he given it since you've come here? God, it must be 3 or 4 by now. The Father is like a man with a song in his head, but instead, it's the Word of God. I hope you don't let the Father's lesson stop you from attending, Andreas. It would make me happy to see you in Mass, and I know it would please Eva as well. She worries for your immortal soul, God bless her. She does? Of course, she worries about all of the family. And as long as you stay with us, family you shall be. That's very kind. But I'm looking forward to the spinning. It's so rare. It's rare so many women in the town are in the same room together. Oh, Andreas, you should come by. I'd like that, thank you. Everyone will be glad to see you, I'm sure. We meet at Johann Bauer's house. Please, come by in the morning or afternoon and speak to Johann. I shall get back to my labors, but it was lovely to see you, Andreas. Take care. Be well, Clara. Eva, it'll be fun to have you spinning with us, Andreas. Well, I said nothing about helping. I was just going to stop by and say hi. Alright, how you doing, Big Jorg? Hey, Andreas. You say hello to the girls today? Eva and Clara? No, I meant the chickens, Peter, James, and John. They like it when you stroke their back, or give them a good scratch under the breast. You named your chickens after the apostles. Isn't that blasphemy? I guess when you put it plain like that. But I hear about the apostles every day, or every Sunday in Mass. They witnessed great moments of glory in his darkest trials. Or witnessed Jesus' greatest moments of glory in his darkest trials. And I was thinking, that's how it is with the girls and me. They see everything I deal with around here. That makes perfect sense to me, Big Dork. You have much in common with Christ. Word of advice, don't mention that to anyone else, especially the Father. It's fine, I get it. I'll just call them the girls from now on. I don't recall your family eating eggs. What do you do with all of them? Oh, we sell them to the Bowers. Clara says we need the extra money for taxes. Anyway, I should get back to it. Until later, Andreas. Until then. Peter? Andreas? Girls? Bill, Peter? God bless you. Alright, I think that's where we are going to end this episode, guys. We got a new day ahead of us. A lot happened yesterday. This should be a lot to think about. I don't know what we're going to do. We have a lot to do. I don't know if we're going to be able to do everything, but we'll see. I guess we'll prioritize what we want. I don't know what we should do, actually. I don't know what we're doing. We'll have to decide in the next episode. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later. Well, actually, I don't know if it saves. I think it saves when you go to a new place. So we'll just start here. There we go. Yeah, it looked like I got the little saving thing there. Perfect. See you next time, guys.